mercy sees all.
How's the most amazing community on YouTube doing? Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot for the support. 2019, and those of you here since 2016, hey, thanks a lot, guys. I still see you there. Parallax, what's going on? Let's try and understand this. If you're just arriving here to the channel, I often film along the Terminator line because it shows us an elevation. What do you think of these two objects? The same area that we're pointing. On top, you can see an elevation, and on bottom you can't. On top again here you see an elevation. On bottom the foreshortening is more visual, right? It's more visible. Well, that's due to parallax, also libration, because they say two moving celestial objects give us a view of objects lying down on the surface. I'm going to talk to you about a few options. Now this year 2020, I think people are awake enough to understand exactly what's going on the moon. I'm always careful with what I say, not to offend any association, but I'm allowing my own beliefs. Let's get into it. I showed you all the structures, the rectangles. How many rectangles are hiding in this white, do you think? There's something there. There's a camouflage, right? Let's just, for the fun, put another one of my own squares there, make it white, trim it down, take off the red edges, and voila. How many of those could be hiding under that mist, haze, or refractive surface, whether it be a natural camouflage or not? Look at the details of this. Seeing the connection, connected to where and what's there. Could there be places where objects are placed? Of course, this is how I found the objects right in the center that we're looking at. Take a look at this. The surface of the moon, NASA says, is very colorful where Mare Serenitatis is. Let's go look at this area in the smaller circle to see if we can pick some up, to understand what is red and what is refraction. And like I said, you will see that it's very easy, simple to distinguish the difference. There it is, bottom left, Mare Serenitatis, Menelaus on the bottom, the big white crater, as we're going over to the left bottom corner, where we see those reds appearing on the surface, and where also NASA, on NASA's website, declares that there are a lot of colors in Mare Serenitatis that are visible to the naked eye. No, I'm telling you. Here's underneath a closer look at Menelaus, and top left, and the center is Hyginus. You can see that right at the bottom there. Not far from Bessel crater and Menelaus. Well, you could see Hyginus crater. It also has lots of purples and reds that are appearing. Maybe the purples are some refraction. Who really cares? We could still see the surface. There it is. You could see the reds popping up on many different occasions. Lines going by. This is an area in the Southern Highlands that is not getting enough attention. What would lines, maybe 10, 15 lines, doing coming across these objects? You can see off to the right too, there's other objects, but look downwards as everything is connected, and where the connection follows, it's a line of blur. Either at different wavelengths, there are the lines going across, over, and under whatever of this massive like platform structure. Here are the Apennine Mountains. So now where I'm pointing the arrow in the center are structures, natural or not, anomalies that are right beside the mountains on the right. Apennine, look at them. You see the line going down to the top, well, to the bottom of that line. We're going on our way down to the Apennine mountain end, which is Eratosthenes crater. I often talk about the light bending that we see on the moon. Do you guys know where the technology of light bending comes from? It's a Canadian technology. Yes, Canadian camouflage company, Hyperstealth Biotechnology. They're the ones that patented the technology behind the material that bends light to make people and objects near invisible to the naked eye. What happens is it bends the light, the technology, like a glass of water does when a spoon or straw is inside the glass and it looks bent. Quantum stealth invisibility cloak can conceal people. A cloaking device is a device that can cause objects such as spaceships or individuals, even planets maybe, right, to be partially or wholly invisible to parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. However, over the entire spectrum, a cloaked object scatters more than an uncloaked object, like UFOs, like the moon. All right, guys, let's get in crazy close. Let's just slam into these UFOs, right, to try to get in to see any sign of any detail. Check it out. Lights on the surface appearing underneath each of the crafts or UFOs as they're traveling along the surface at high velocity, extreme high velocity speeds, vapor trails being seen at the back. Check this one out. Watch this. The UFOs are really on fire. Watch this. Nah, still not close enough. Let's get in. Watch this. Maybe the light under the craft that lights up on the surface is what's camouflaging it, what's bending the light around it. Who knows? Every time an alien video is made, or UFOs, or is talked about, it's always represented as evil. Are we sure? Moon, right? Nothing's supposed to be up there. Nothing's supposed to be riding around or roaming around, especially not any humans, and they say not any aliens. STS-85, the mission, we heard NASA, well, not necessarily talk about it, but we've seen it with our own eyes, the tether incident, as we've seen that tether that broke loose into space and all the jellyfish-like creatures that were surrounding the tether. It was seen, it's still out there on YouTube, you can see it in the videos. It looks very similar to some, anyways, of the objects that we are seeing roaming around on the surface of the moon. Yeah, they're hard to see because they have the same reflectivity as the surface, but again, not impossible to see them. We're seeing them by slowing down the footage. A small selective group, that's what we're going to be. We're not going to be that many people to know the truth. Not yet anyways. Probably we're before our time, but either way. let me show you in ultra slow definition the illumination and the descending of the illumination of the UFO.
Aliens are the moon. Aliens are the moon. And they're mining really up there. They're mining on the moon. Aliens are the moon. Aliens are the moon. They're spying really up there. They're mining on the moon. Aliens are the moon. Aliens are the moon. And they may be coming soon.
This is Houston. Say again, please.